Have you ever wondered why some individuals find serenity and freedom as they age, while others feel ensnared by their relationships? The common belief that a partner in later years is always a source of joy doesn't hold true for everyone. For many, a partnership can become a subtle yet persistent burden, draining energy, restricting personal choices, and adding stress to what should be a peaceful chapter of life. If you've ever sensed that maintaining a relationship demands more effort than it provides in return, you're not alone. In this comprehensive guide, we'll delve into 5 compelling reasons why having a partner in old age can complicate rather than enrich your life. Understanding these reasons isn't about dismissing companionship entirely. It's about gaining the wisdom to see the full picture and making choices that truly enhance your well-being. Stay with us until the end, as these insights might fundamentally shift how you perceive relationships in your later years, empowering you to embrace a life of greater freedom, joy, and authenticity. The emotional toll of endless compromise. As you age, your capacity to tolerate unnecessary stress naturally diminishes. Yet relationships often require ongoing compromise that can erode your inner peace. In your younger years, adjusting habits, preferences, or even life goals to maintain harmony may have felt like a natural part of partnership. However, in later life, these sacrifices can feel increasingly costly, chipping away at the tranquility you deserve. Simple daily decisions, choosing what to eat, how to spend your leisure time, or where to go, can escalate into exhausting debates that leave you emotionally drained. Consider Robert, a 74-year-old retiree who spent decades accommodating his wife's preferences, from meal choices to vacation plans, only to realize his own desires had been consistently sidelined. Now, he longs for quiet mornings to read or reflect, but his wife's habit of blasting the television from the moment she wakes disrupts his peace. These seemingly minor conflicts accumulate over time, transforming a once loving partnership into a source of frustration and resentment. The reality is stark. In old age, you shouldn't feel compelled to prioritize another's wishes over your own happiness. Many individuals in long-term relationships find themselves trapped in emotional cycles, perpetually managing their partner's feelings, offering reassurance, apologizing for minor slights, or adjusting their behavior to avoid conflict. This emotional labor grows heavier with age, as the energy required to navigate these dynamics becomes harder to muster. Instead of savoring your days with freedom and ease, you may find yourself expending effort to ensure your partner's contentment, often at the expense of your own. The truth is, a relationship that consistently drains your emotional reserves in your later years no longer serves your best interests. At this stage, peace of mind should be paramount. Yet many remain in partnerships out of habit or obligation, unaware of how liberating it could be to release the burden of constant compromise to reclaim your emotional energy. Consider setting boundaries or prioritizing activities that bring you personal joy, such as a solo hobby or quiet time to reflect. These small steps can help you rediscover the freedom to live authentically, unencumbered by the need to appease another. 2. The erosion of true independence. One of the greatest gifts of aging is the opportunity to live life entirely on your own terms. After decades of responsibilities raising children, building careers, and nurturing relationships, you've earned the right to make choices that reflect your desires alone. However, a partnership often binds your decisions to another's needs, habits, and expectations, limiting the absolute independence that makes this phase of life so fulfilling. Take Frank, a 78-year-old widower who, after his wife's passing, realized he had rarely made decisions solely for himself. His life had been shaped by compromise, from where they lived to how they spent their weekends. When he embraced solitude, he discovered an unexpected joy, waking up each day without obligations, schedules dictated by another, or the need to justify his choices. This newfound freedom allowed him to explore hobbies like painting and travel on his own terms, experiences he hadn't realized he craved during his married years. Even in the healthiest relationships, you're expected to check in, coordinate plans, and adjust to accommodate your partner's preferences. This isn't about disliking your partner, but recognizing how much autonomy you relinquish in a shared life. You may hesitate to pursue spontaneous adventures, take up new hobbies, or change your daily routine without considering their reaction or securing their approval. Over time, mental independence also erodes, as long-term relationships blend opinions and blur individual perspectives. You might not even notice how much your thought process has been shaped by years of discussions, debates, and compromises with your partner. Solitude, however, offers a rare chance to reconnect with your unfiltered thoughts, making decisions based purely on what sparks joy for you. Independence isn't merely about living alone. It's about moving through life without invisible constraints, free to embrace your desires without hesitation. To cultivate this independence, try carving out time for solo activities that nurture your sense of self, such as journaling, gardening, or taking short trips alone. These moments can help you rediscover your unique voice and priorities. For those in relationships, open communication about needing personal space can strike a balance, allowing you to maintain some autonomy while staying connected. In old age, the greatest gift you can give yourself is the freedom to live authentically, unburdened by the constant need to adapt to another's expectations. If these insights are resonating with you, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're engaged. If you haven't subscribed, consider doing so and turning on notifications to stay updated with our content. Your support fuels our mission to create inspiring and thought-provoking guides. Let's move forward. 3. The exhaustion of ongoing compromise. Relationships often begin with a sense of comfort, support, and shared joy. But as you age, the constant compromise required can become a subtle yet profound drain on your energy. What once felt like a natural aspect of partnership may, in later years, demand more effort than you have to give. The alternative, peaceful solitude where every decision is yours alone, reveals just how taxing it can be to always negotiate your needs with another's. Consider Robert, a 74-year-old who cherished his wife, but grew weary of the small sacrifices that defined their life together. Watching movies he didn't enjoy, dining at restaurants that weren't his preference, or adjusting his daily routine to align with hers. Each compromise seemed minor in isolation, but over decades, they accumulated into a heavy emotional load. After her passing, he anticipated loneliness, but instead felt a profound relief. Free to live without the constant need to consider another's preferences. In youth, compromise fosters growth, teaching patience, empathy, and collaboration. But in old age, it can become a burden, particularly when you crave rest, reflection, and the freedom to live without negotiation. Even the simplest aspects of life, deciding how to spend an evening, choosing a home's decor, or planning medical appointments, require discussions, agreements, or occasional disagreements that leave you depleted. The luxury of aging lies in the ability to make choices without resistance, without justifying your preferences, or suppressing small annoyances to keep the peace. Solitude offers a refreshing mental clarity, allowing you to be yourself without filtering your thoughts for another's approval. This freedom to live authentically, unencumbered by the emotional labor of compromise, becomes one of the most rejuvenating experiences of later life. To mitigate this exhaustion, consider identifying areas where compromise feels most draining and explore ways to reduce their impact. For example, designate certain times or activities as non-negotiable for your personal enjoyment, such as a morning walk or an hour of reading. If you're in a relationship, discuss these needs openly with your partner to create space for both of you to thrive. For those contemplating solitude, reflect on the peace that comes from decisions made without debate, a luxury that can transform your daily experience into one of ease and fulfillment. The hidden burden of caretaking. Romantic notions of companionship in old age often gloss over the immense responsibility of caretaking when a partner's health declines. While rooted in love, this role can overwhelm even the most devoted, consuming time, energy, and personal well-being. Consider James, a 77-year-old who became his wife's full-time caregiver after over 50 years of marriage. Initially, he handled small tasks, reminding her to take medications, offering emotional support. But as her condition deteriorated, the demands escalated. Sleepless nights, weight loss, and relentless stress took a toll on his own health, leaving him with little time or energy for self-care. What began as an act of devotion evolved into an all-consuming obligation, a reality that many elderly couples face without anticipating its intensity. Research highlights a sobering truth. Elderly caregivers frequently experience higher rates of depression, anxiety, and physical illness due to the relentless demands of tending to a partner's needs. The physical tasks assisting with mobility, managing medications are compounded by the emotional weight of witnessing a loved one's decline. Tragically, by the time one partner passes, the caregiver's health is often significantly compromised, diminishing their quality of life. Even in relationships where both partners are healthy, the mental strain of worrying about each other's well-being, ensuring proper nutrition, scheduling medical appointments, or encouraging activity can be exhausting. In contrast, those who remain single or independent often find they can focus entirely on their own health, maintaining energy, routines, and happiness without the added responsibility of another's care. This burden isn't a reason to avoid love, but a call to prioritize your own well-being. If you're in a caretaking role, seek support through community resources, such as caregiver support groups or respite care services, to alleviate some of the pressure. For those considering future relationships, weigh the potential responsibilities of caregiving and ensure open discussions about health and support plans. Choosing to safeguard your mental and physical health in old age may be one of the most compassionate decisions you make for yourself and those you love. If you're finding these insights valuable, comment number 4 below to let me know you're with us. Subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay informed. Your support keeps us creating content to inform and inspire. Let's explore the final reason: the financial and emotional strain of partnerships. Many envision a partner in old age as a source of comfort and security, but partnerships can introduce significant financial and emotional stress that disrupt the peace your later years should bring. Shared expenses, medical bills, or differing financial priorities can create tension, undermining the tranquility you've worked hard to achieve. Take Robert, an 80-year-old widower who lived comfortably on his savings and pension, enjoying hobbies like woodworking and travel. When he entered a new relationship in his mid-70s, his partner's financial struggles led to unexpected costs, shared living expenses, medical bills, and even support for her adult children. What began as companionship morphed into a financial burden, forcing him to dip into savings he'd carefully preserved for his own future. This scenario is far from rare. Late-life relationships often entangle financial security with another's circumstances, particularly when one partner is less financially stable. Disputes over spending habits, inheritances, or medical expenses can foster resentment, eroding emotional well-being and creating a sense of obligation that overshadows joy. Some seniors feel trapped, unable to leave due to financial dependence or fear of loneliness, resulting in heightened stress and diminished happiness. In contrast, those who choose independence often report greater control over their financial future, spending and saving on their terms without guilt or external pressure. This financial autonomy fosters peace, ensuring every dollar aligns with personal priorities, whether it's travel, hobbies, or securing long-term care. The emotional toll of financial strain is equally significant. Arguments over money can erode trust, leaving partners feeling undervalued or controlled. For those in new relationships, blending finances later in life can complicate matters further, especially when adult children or prior commitments are involved. To navigate this, consider maintaining separate finances or clear agreements about shared expenses before entering a partnership. For those already entangled, open communication and professional financial advice can help restore balance. Ultimately, relationships in old age involve not just love, but responsibilities that can outweigh their benefits. Choosing independence financially and emotionally can be a powerful way to ensure your later years are defined by peace and freedom, not unforeseen burdens. Final thoughts? As you journey through your later years, the choices you make become profoundly significant, shaping the quality of your life and your sense of fulfillment. While society often champions partnership as a cornerstone of happiness, for many, it brings more stress than joy. Aging should be a time of liberation, a chance to make decisions freely, live without unnecessary burdens, and prioritize your well-being above all else. The 5 reasons we've explored: emotional compromise, loss of independence, ongoing exhaustion, caretaking burdens, and financial strain highlight the challenges that partnerships can pose in old age. They're not a call to reject companionship, but an invitation to reflect deeply on what truly serves you. Take a moment to consider your own life. Are your relationships a source of genuine joy and mutual growth? Or are they rooted in habit, fear of loneliness, or societal expectations? Are you holding on to connections that no longer align with your vision for a peaceful, fulfilling life? Every individual's circumstances are unique, but one truth is universal. Your later years should be defined by ease, not hardship. Whether you choose to nurture a partnership or embrace independence, ensure it enhances your life, bringing lightness and contentment rather than obligation or stress. To make informed choices, start by assessing your priorities. Journal about what brings you joy, what drains your energy, and how your relationships align with your goals. If you're in a partnership, have honest conversations with your partner about needs, boundaries, and mutual support to create a dynamic that works for both. If you're contemplating solitude, explore ways to build a vibrant life on your own terms. Through hobbies, community involvement, or personal growth, resources like senior centers, counseling, or support groups can offer guidance and connection. Whether you're partnered or independent, we'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below sharing one key takeaway from this guide and how you plan to apply it in your life. Perhaps you're inspired to set boundaries in your relationship, explore a new solo hobby, or have a candid talk about finances. Whatever it is, your insights motivate us and foster a community of reflection and growth. If you found this guide helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with friends or family who might benefit. Your support enables us to continue creating content that informs, inspires, and empowers. Thank you for joining us on this journey to a more fulfilling later life. We look forward to connecting with you in our next guide.